Welcome, one and all. It's Hunter and his beloved wall once again. So, today I want to talk about something which I've been doing a lot and I feel like many people struggle. It's basically talking. But what do I mean by talking? You see, if you ever stumble upon this where you have to give a presentation or in general want to address a topic, talk in front of a big audience or record a video like I do right now, you start talking and as you talk, you have these pauses like uh, uh, mm, or in general just lose track of what you're saying and go off topic. See, for me personally, I've been talking during MUNs beforehand, hence I'm a little used to talking in general. And besides, being able to talk without pauses while also being able to stick to the subject is what saves me from editing my videos a lot. So today, I'll be sharing some of my tips and tricks on how to do it. So, generally, the reason why people start just getting stuck is because they rush it. This is the most important thing. You don't have to speak fast. This is not a rap battle. You're not trying to become faster than Eminem. Let's not forget the fact that a good speech doesn't have to be a quick one or a short one, but don't also make it too long. See, for instance, when you're talking about a topic, let's say I'm explaining an event that happened yesterday. For instance, I went to the park and I'm telling you that I went to the park and the flowers at the park were green. It was a different color, but I don't remember that the flowers were green because it was awkward or weird at that point. So the way I would say it at the beginning of the sentence, I would go, yesterday I went to the park. The flowers there were quite interesting. As a matter of fact, they were not of the usual color, they were green. See, by expanding a little bit, by adding additional words, instead of saying, I went to the park, I saw a green flower, I say, I went to the park and I saw a flower which was different or extraordinary. I buy myself time to think at the back of my head what was the color that I was going to mention. You can use that when you're talking about a topic and you know the direction the topic is going, but you're missing a detail, for instance. Because otherwise, if you jump right to it, you would go, I saw a flower and it was green. Those 2-3 seconds are important. Now, the other thing, which is harder, is basically planning your speech beforehand. Now, what does that translate to? Once you're speaking about a certain topic, let's say I'm currently talking about the steps of how to improve your speech, how to not get stuck, how to not use is I at the same time imagine this. If you're telling a scenario, see that just imagine it might not sound so relatable. So, for instance, if you're telling how you did something or recalling a memory, like the previous example, you can imagine that in your head, play that scenario as you speak through it. And then it's easier for you to pick words from those things that you imagine at the moment. And for the speech itself, I imagine the topics that I want to cover, imagine the examples that I want to give. And as I'm speaking, I just connect the pieces and grab on to those things that I imagined. The third one is going to be just think that you're speaking to a friend. Usually, the excitement plays a big role. If you're not relaxed, if you're not chill while you're speaking, it's gonna create a tension and you're gonna forget the things that you usually do not forget. So, for instance, you might notice that you don't have the same problems when you're talking to a friend. Or telling that to your parents or something. So if you also don't, like me, don't get stuck while you're telling something to a friend, a good way to overcome this problem when you speak to a public or record a video or something is to either imagine that you are talking to a friend, which is quite hard, but if you can pull it off, it's quite useful. I can't personally. Or what I do, or what I did, is talk to your friends or to your family. Practice. Practice is also another topic, but like the imagining part helps you in terms of if you practiced it, if you're not good at imagining it right away, you can also talk to yourself. And that way, when you start talking, just don't focus on people or don't focus on the camera. Think, like, look blank. You know, the look that you give when you're in a lecture or in a class and you're just so disconnected, so tired that you're like just sitting there looking at the professor, but in reality, your head is somewhere else. This is what you should do. Focus your head on something else by imagining this is what you accomplish. Getting your head out of the scene or like out of the view of camera, out of the view of the whole public. You're just staring at a blank, not the crowd. It's not threatening you anymore. It's not just overwhelming you anymore because you don't focus on them, you don't see them. You focus on your head. The fourth one, as I kind of mentioned before, is training, practicing. This doesn't come right away. And that's the problem, main problem. Usually people struggle with this part. You cannot instantly change. For instance, I had a presentation last year to make, and one of my teammates was not that good at presenting, having the same issues that I'm currently talking about. But the way to overcome, and the way my teammate did it, is we practiced. We did gather as a group, and we simply started talking about our parts. We started presenting till the point that our friend started feeling like he or she, not giving a gender here, was simply talking about their part. And that way, when the presentation time arrived, they simply went to the stage and also did the same thing that they did 50 times now. It came naturally, even if they got stuck. Once again, at least the time of speech reduced from 10 minutes to 5. And again, I want to stress out a lot. Just because shorter is perceived as better doesn't mean that it is better. Sorry for the background noise, by the way. People are coming back from class and stuff, university. And the other thing that I can say is less of a step, but more of a personal experience is some people, especially in MUN conferences, you have to give the speeches to other delegates or like present your amendments, etc. People write a speech. Now, when you read off a speech, it provides some ease, that is true. But if you stick to a text, it will break you down eventually. And this is like the most common problem. This is why you can see so many people on YouTube who will have commentaries or rants which cut out in the middle. They're mostly scripted. Like not 100%, but there are scripted parts because that's how they keep the consistent base. That's how they have the message delivered with a strong backbone. Because they write it down beforehand, the core message. They can rephrase it, but at the end of the day, they give it the way it is. Hence, if you stick to a text too much, you will stop being able to talk without a text. you will be confused or you can go off topic. Try this. Try talking about something without looking at the text. If you aren't used to it, read the text once or twice, then start talking. If you get stuck, don't look at the text. Keep standing there till it comes to your mind. The more you do it, the more you'll be used to just staying away from the text and summing something up. If you want to practice for this before starting to speak, you can read a text and then write a shorter version of it, like the key points that were in your mind, and see how much you remember of the key points. By doing this exercise a lot, you will get used to at least remembering the key points. Hence, you can start developing a dialogue on that term. In general, speaking without being stuck is a skill that will help you out, but not in terms of, hey, it's gonna be a job or a career saving thing. Most likely it will not be. But see, social interactions are important, and if you learn how to talk without getting stuck about a subject, it might actually save you a lot of relationships in terms of you'll be more confident to talk to people. Or you can be like me, instead of editing, you can save yourself from a lot of work and have a video which doesn't have to be cut, and it's still the thing that you wanted. Is honest opinion, unedited opinion, and a proper one. So I hope this guide helped you out, and I'll see you in another one. Goodbye.